Hello, welcome to Healing with podcast. I am Marissa McDevitt, your host, mindset coach, mentor, and founder of Healing Center. Tired of all the BS? So was I. This podcast is my raw, unfiltered take on life, sharing my personal experiences, lessons, and healing practices that helped me break free from the cycles that no longer serve me. I'm just an average woman who decided to stop settling and start speaking up. Here we dive deep into the messy, beautiful, and sometimes painful realities of life, business, and relationships. No fluff, no judgment, just real talk, real growth, and real transformation. This is a safe space for anyone, women, men, and all the beauties in between. So who's ready to raise their standards, heal, and step into their power? Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Now tune in and let's talk about it. All right. So, as you can see, I am wearing my freedom shirt. If you don't know what this shirt means, this is the shirt that Charlie Kirk was wearing when he got assassinated in Utah at a free speech movement event. Essentially what he did was go around and give a microphone to anybody who pleased to come up and debate with him, whether they agreed with him or whether they disagreed with him. He gave them a safe space. He gave them a microphone and he let them talk. He let them speak. He heard what they had to say and he gave back his opinions. So why am I wearing this? What's going on? This episode is going to be about enjoying the journey. Really embracing every step of the journey that you have to do to get to where you want to be. And Charlie Kirk was a big influence in my life. Did I agree with everything he said? Absolutely not. There was a lot of things I did not agree with him about, but there was a lot of things I did agree with him about. And I thought he was so magnificent and powerful and strong to go out there and voice his truth and truth for this country here in the United States of America. So with that being said, I am actually going to an event tonight, a Turning Point USA event. If you don't know what that is the organization that Charlie Kirk built. And his story behind Turning Point USA is magnificent. He started with nothing, just an idea in his head, and he built one of the biggest movements in history. So this is why this episode is going to be learning to embrace the journey. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the building steps. So actually, I got to get going here, but I am going to this Dream City Church featuring Pastor Lucas Miles and special guest John Paul DeJora. I don't know how to say it, but these are them. I also don't go to church, so they're having a freedom night in honor of Charlie as well. It's actually kind of like a seminar / church event, so I'm going with my neighbor, and this is just the pre. So I'm excited to share what I experienced going in with an open mind, and here we go. Okay, so I didn't realize how late this event was going to go. So it is almost 10 p.m. here, and we got there at 6:15. So, wow, right? I haven't been into a church in years, and when I did go to church, it was like on Easter or Christmas. Still didn't understand anything they said. But tonight was different. So I got my little handy dandy notebook. So this was a Dream City church, which I guess are all over the United States. I don't know. Don't quote me. Anyways, it's called Freedom Night. And they've been doing Freedom Night at this Dream City church here in Arizona for 5 years. And Charlie Kirk was running them. He was there every single first Wednesday of the month. And they would have different guest speakers on and everything. So tonight was the first night without Charlie hosting Freedom Night. It was very powerful. The energy was so pure, so strong, so radiant. I was very happy that my neighbor invited me to go and sent me the flyer from Turning Point USA. When we got there, they did gospel music where they singing and whatever. It's actually really beautiful. It was really cool to see the energy radiating off of people, singing, happy, smiling. It was a really beautiful experience, especially for someone who I haven't experienced much gospel music. So being there was very beautiful. And it's cool. It's like on the screen if you want to sing along and stuff. But I was just observing, taking in the energy, watching people, seeing how it was like they're all connected. It was beautiful. It was. The cool thing is that it was the speaker. So they have a different speaker come on every time. And tonight was John Paul DeJore. I don't know. Anyways, Paul Mitchell, the hair products. Yeah, it's him. Okay, it was him. Sound of Freedom, the documentary. If you don't know, you should watch it. He's the producer of it. This man, he was on Shark Tank. If you watch that show, Shark Tank. So he was the guest speaker tonight. So I took some notes. And again, I told you that this episode is on enjoying the journey, the baby steps of becoming who you are. And it had to do a lot with Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was 18 years old. He had no money, no contacts, just pure energy and pure love for faith and the United States of America and freedom. Just a ramped up kid. And he started going around and speaking the truth about freedom, the Constitution. And some people noticed him. There was a specific person, I can't remember at the time. Anyways, long story short, he ended up building Turning Point USA, organizations all over the States. He was touring just 2 months ago in Japan and Korea, speaking. And the beautiful thing about it was when he called his pastor, one of his pastor's friends back here, he was texting with them and he said, "Hey, the coolest thing about being here in Korea, I just spoke the gospel to all these Asians and Koreans. I just rallied up all the conservatives in another country. It was, I spoke the gospel." Because if you knew Charlie, he was always about faith and his gospel and his truth and, And like I said, I don't go to church and now I went to church, but I don't go to church and I don't believe that you have to go to church every Sunday to have faith. So like I said, there's some things that I agreed with Charlie about and there's some things that I didn't agree with Charlie about. But I do know why people choose to go to church and do their church things. It's because of the community. I seen it tonight. Everybody is literally welcoming you, hugging you, like human interaction is so important. And people are so scared. John Paul tonight talked about eye contact, how to communicate with people. I'm going to get into the notes here because they were good. But what I want to relate to this episode really quick is enjoy the journey now. Because these baby steps is what's going to make you get to the big step, to the big picture, right? But you have to have faith within yourself, faith with God, or whatever you believe in, and a drive, an action. And just like Charlie Kirk did, he had that, and look what he created. John Paul, same thing. He started Paul Mitchell in his car. He was driven, he said it was divine intention. John Paul also has a book called Success Unshared is Failure. Success Unshared is Failure. I'm going to order that book here. He talked about that a lot tonight. He talked about how the more you give and serve others without any expectation of getting anything back, that's how you become rich. Because the more you serve others, the more you give to others just out of your heart space, out of just kindness every single day, gratitude, God gives you what you deserve. God will send you what you need. So John Paul helped so many homeless people. He decided that we the people in his community, not the government, he went around, we the people, he got volunteers in his community to build these little structures to house homeless. He had a vision that the government isn't going to help you. We the people, community is what helps people. So he built these little huts and he helped hundreds of homeless people get off the streets and shelter them. But not only did he do that, he built a school to teach these homeless people. There was a lot of homeless that were addicted to drugs. He had a facility for that. There was homeless people that were very mentally ill. And he had a school for the mentally ill to learn how to work through that and become okay to be in society. And then he had an entrepreneur school where he taught them how to do pottery and painting and gardening and all the things. And then he gave them the opportunity to sell them. And in the first 18 months of this program and what he did, they sold, I think it was like almost $200,000, or it was $200,000, and they got to keep all of it. So when he says success unshared is failure, that's what he's talking about. When he was succeeding and receiving, he was giving and giving. When he had enough abundance and wealth, he turned it back into the community and gave. So, he was told a story about the Appalachian Mountains or something. Don't quote me. Something along that line, where the mines and coal factories or coal mines were shut down and nobody had work. And he went up there with a few volunteers that he paid and taught. He brought tons of seeds. And he taught these people who were out of jobs, that were miners, how to grow their own food organically. Oh yeah, and that's something that he also had at the homeless shelters too, is he taught them how to grow their own food, and so they could eat all the time, but organic food. So with these people who lost all their jobs, these families, he taught them all how to garden, grow their own food, their own crops organically, and then have it for them so they could survive, but then also sell it to the local grocery stores in their own community and have locally grown organic food. And that's how they made businesses. So every time he did something good for someone else and expected zero, nothing in return, that's when it started flowing. Key to life is to know how to overcome trauma and drama. It's your reaction that can overcome any situation. So he said, number 1, be prepared to overcome rejection. If you know that some people are not going to like you, if you know that some companies are going to deny you, if you know that some events are going to say, no, we don't want your stuff here, if you know that somebody's going to say you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too that, you're too hoo, ha, ha, boo, hoo, then when it happens, you're like, okay, next. I'm prepared. I already got it down. And then 2 was don't look at the past. People hold on to the past so many things, and this hit hard because, as you know, my last few episodes have been about my past in Wisconsin. He said, only look up, because that's the only way you're going to go is up. Move forward. Forgive one another and get it off your back. Get it off your back. Hey, you treated me like shit. I forgive you. We move on. That doesn't mean you have to be their friend, but that means, hey, I forgive you because we're human. It was a lesson learned. I shouldn't have been your friend. You know, this was a lesson I've learned and experienced. Now we're moving on. But I forgive you because we're human. But stop carrying it around on you. And this was a good reminder for me too, because it's like, even the people that hurt me the most in this last 3 years, and they come up in my head, I always say, I forgive you. And I send healing energy around it. And then it usually goes away. Because it is what it is. There's no point in holding on to that. Oh my God, they did this to me. Oh my God, they did that. Do you know how you did that? It hurt. It sucked. It doesn't feel good to be backstabbed. It doesn't feel good to be betrayed. It doesn't feel good. But lesson learned, we're human. Move on. I learned my lesson. Don't be your friend. I forgive you. Go fuck somebody else's life up now. He also talked about the light and the darkness and how we are in a spiritual warfare, and it's all about vibrational frequency, which is so cool to hear about that with faith and in a church. Because a lot of people think I'm absolutely, church people think holistic healers are cuckoo witches, and we might be. But he did say, there is light and dark. We are yin and yang in this world that we live in. But the light is peeking through the darkness. We are shining brighter than they say we are. I can feel it. We can feel it. What you pay attention to grows. So it's very important to keep shining your light, staying in your own truth, just like Charlie did. You have to shine brighter. The really cool thing about JP was he doesn't do internet. He doesn't do emails. He has a phone, but he doesn't do anything. And he is a director on a board of an AI company. Doesn't do internet. And he said that is the number one thing, which is so crazy because I'm literally on a detox right now of the internet. And it's been the best thing ever. It's always the best thing ever. I've been on a social media internet cleanse. I've only been doing YouTube or audiobooks and positive brainwashing. And wow, what did he say? He says, I have time to think. Not being on my phone and TV, I have so much time to think, to be creative, to connect with Source, to God. And I understood that so deeply because that is, look at me, I've been creating nonstop. I don't want to go back to my phone. I really don't. I love being off, and I'm going to stay off until I'm completely done with revamping my business here. He talked about communication and how humans are scared to make eye contact. Have you ever noticed when you're talking to someone and they're like, looking over here, looking over here? It's because humans don't like to be stared at. It makes them uncomfortable. But the way to connect human to human is through eye contact. So I thought that was really cool because Roger and I will just stare into each other's eyes. It's so powerful. I think it's called something like eye gazing, but it's actually a very powerful exercise. Have you ever just stood in a mirror and looked at yourself? Look at your own eyes? That's powerful too. I usually do that in the mornings when I do my affirmations or my I am becoming statement. He said the only way to live is in the kindness of your heart, to be kind. He said the more you're kind, the more you're here to serve others and be kind, it's free to do, the more God will give you what you need, what you're searching for, what your desires are. So a cool thing he said was, every morning, wake up with a smile and say good morning to the first 3 people you see. Whether that's your dog, because the dog counts, your husband, your wife, your kids, your neighbor, your phone call, your meeting, whatever it is. Good morning. No matter what. It's just a gesture of kindness, because if we can change people's lives with a smile, that's what he said. We can change people's lives with a smile, and I do believe that. A beautiful communication skill, he said, is when you're, especially with Charlie, right? Because Charlie was all about debating and giving a microphone and a free speech. When you disagree with someone and you know they want to fight, you don't even have to put your energy to it. He said, say this: I can appreciate your point of view, but the reason why I believe this, and he said, make sure you pause. I appreciate your point of view. And pause, because it will snap them out of it. And he said, then say, but the reason I believe or think this is, and you can give your side. He also said, communication is so huge because that's why we carry all these burdens on our shoulders and our grudges and looking in the past. It's like, stop that. If you actually really do care about the person, or if something happened in business and you just didn't agree on something and you've been outcasted or whatever, he said, call them up and say, hey, I apologize for whatever I did. I know I did something wrong. I made a mistake somewhere. But will you please forgive me and please educate me on what I did wrong so I can be a better person? I want to grow. Please tell me what I did wrong. He said that most of the time they come out crying on the phone together. They're rekindled immediately. It's just taking accountability and ownership that we are human. And people petty each other so much. And honestly, I'm in with it too. Like even me holding, all this. Well, they're wrong because they're, crackheads and bipolars and, I understand. I'm like, wow, that hit me hard tonight, because it's like, we are human and it's their life to live. If that's how they want to be, then that's fine. I don't have to be in it. But I can forgive them within myself. I can forgive myself and I can move on. And I did that tonight in church. And wow, it felt beautiful. He said, we live in a world of illusion. We know that. I talk about it all the time, breaking out of the matrix. And he said, the number 1, every one of you is an individual. Every one of you has a chance to make it like he has. You can do it too. He said, start from home. Start within yourself. Start communicating with the people in your home, with yourself. Forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive the people around you. He said, donate to the planet. Go out of the way to make people smile. You are your own boss. Act like it. And the last thing he said was take action. Whatever idea you have, whatever thought you had, whatever plan you got written down, use it. Take action. Going back to the first thing he said, be prepared to overcome rejection. My experience going into church was beautiful. When they were singing and the first pastor came up, he was talking about how Charlie Kirk should be in his shoes right now speaking, and he's sorry to disappoint some because Charlie should be here today. I saw Charlie's energy, his beautiful face above him, like so big, smiling down on him. I was blinking because I'm like, am I making this shit up? And I'm like, whoa. And then the pastor had like this beautiful aura around him. Beautiful white aura with like this blue around him too. I don't know. And I'm like, whoa, Charlie is in him right now. And I only know that because when I was doing Reiki one time, I seen an angel. I actually seen an angel. It was my friend's grandma. It was the client's grandma came through. And I watched her as an angel. And then she actually went into me to finish the Reiki session. But that's what happened in this church. It was like Charlie's face, just his face was huge above him. There was lights. And then all of a sudden, the pastor got bright. And it was like Charlie went into him. And I was like, whoa, he's speaking through you. He is here. I wanted to be like, yeah, he's here. No, I'm just kidding. But the energy was beautiful. The people were beautiful. Yes, it was pretty gaudy. You know, they did do the God thing a lot, which is fine. You know, it's only uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. And I'm just like, okay, Jesus, God, Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. But what I want to say is that this past week, I have been saying that I want to do more things that make me uncomfortable. I want to take risks, and I want to overcome rejection because that's going to happen. And then my sister sends me this necklace, this Faith, it says sister, for my birthday. And then she gets me a Charlie Kirk shirt. And it wasn't even supposed to be here until 6 days later from today. But I got it in the mail today. And I was like, so cool, so excited. I got it yesterday. And then last night I get a text from my neighbor sending me the event, the Freedom Night, Turning Point USA at the Dream City Church. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go. This is a sign. The shirt came early. My sister's giving me, whatever, the energy. I'm taking risks. I'm getting uncomfortable. What makes me uncomfortable? Church, God, Jesus. Not that I'm uncomfortable with God or Jesus. I am faithful. I pray every night. I have for my whole life. And I just believe that we're all an extension of God. And that we have God within us. I don't believe in the woo-woo juju shit, which they think that's on me. But, I'm not like, oh my God, you have to have your Bible every day. I'm not like that. I think it's bullshit. So anyways, that scares me. Because that is like, uncomfortable, judging, you're all judging, which, whatever. But it was very opening. And I did ask a question in front of, like, everyone. I was so nervous. But there was signs. There was signs leading me up to this. And the crazy thing is like, my vision has been, in the end, to work with children, have children camps at my retreats, working with the animals, working with God, spirit, our own energy, divinity, tapping into showing children you have the magic, showing children that you're not alone, that we can tap in, that we are powerful. I want to be that person for the children. And this past week, it's like all I can think about is the children. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go to Boys and Girls Clubs. Maybe, I have all these business ideas. That's why I'm revamping everything. And then I watched The Sound of Freedom again just 3 nights ago. 3 nights ago, I watched it. And I told Roger, I said, I want to help these sex trafficked kids and families. I want to help. Fast forward 3 days later, I go to a church event, Freedom Night, after watching The Sound of Freedom, all the things, kids. And John Paul is the producer of the the documentary, on top of Dream City churches are the number one churches that they help sex trafficking families and kids. On top of everything else, but come on, that's not just like, oh, coincidence. That's divine guidance. You guys, that's divine guidance. And yes, I asked a question in front of everybody, so people came up to me after. I was kind of bombarded. Very beautiful people, but there was one person that was like, I totally triggered him by saying tarot cards. Because, gosh, Jesus, that's freaking, witchery or devil stuff, whatever they think. And I just listened because, I don't judge anyone. And I'm just kind of listening to what he has to say. And it was very intense. And it was all within 5 minutes. And he could have kept talking. But I was like, I had to pee so bad. Either way, the point is, he told me, oh, you should tell the pastor that you do tarot. I want to see what he says. And I just giggled because it's like, I'm not here to get your approval of what I do. I'm here because I was guided to be here. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm here because my whole revamping of my business and myself is I am not going to hide who I am. I go to raves. I'm a bartender. I meditate. I ride razors. I love dressing up. I don't care. I want to work with kids. I want to work with families. I want to go to church sometimes. Who cares? That's my life. And some people are going to like it, and some people are not going to like it, and I don't care. And because of Charlie Kirk's inspiration to me, I'm going to speak my truth. Now, his truth was more faith and church-like. Mine is free will. Mine is do whatever makes your heart light up. If you're not, do what is right for you. And whatever makes you happy, do it. And it's sad to me that people are too scared to voice their hobbies or opinions. They're all secret, whatever they are, because they own a business. Oh, I own a business, so I can't say I like Trump. I like Trump. I voted for him. Who cares? I have friends that voted for the other side. Does that make me love them any less? No, unless they're assholes to me, then yeah, bye. Who cares? People need to be strong. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for what you believe in and enjoy the journey. My life coach, Mary Hope, she tells me every single time we talk, Marissa, enjoy where you're at. Enjoy the setbacks. Enjoy the lessons. Because every setback, every rejection is a redirection. This cleanse I'm going on, this social media cleanse and internet cleanse, is so powerful. I am more connected to divine source and God because I'm not freaking distracted by this shit. You don't realize how much you waste on your damn phone until you get off of it. So now what I do is sit in front of a camera. Tonight was a different kind of episode for me. I just, no outline. Just wrote off from my notes and my experience. And I really like it. This is my free speech, my freedom. In honor of Charlie Kirk. And they actually offered me a beginner's church study. Bible, I don't even know what it's called. It's supposed to be on Sunday nights. So as long as my work schedule doesn't conflict with that, I'm going to go. I'm open. I want to know. I'm open to it. A lot of my mentors, they're all faith-based. And I know there's something behind it. So I'm very open, and I was meant to go, and I can't wait to the next one. And I guess what I want to end on is two things. One, success unshared is failure by John Paul. And another one, we can change people's lives with a smile. And with that being said, have a beautiful day.